Thank you again for tuning into Femme House Radio this week for the Pride Month programming this year, 2025, the year of our Lord. I have a very special guest this week. We have the amazing, legendary electronic house producer, extravaganza, eleganza, category 10s across the board producer, Ms. Worthy in the building. She is the label head of Anabatic Records. She was one of the four original members of the Dirty Bird crew and happens to be one of the most cutting edge tech house producers in the world. No stranger to the world of electronic music. She was energized by the early American rave scene and bounced from city to city before finally landing in San Francisco. And it was there that she put down roots and became part of the Dirty Bird crew alongside Claude Von Stroke, Justin, and Christian Martin. She released her breakout track Stay off Dirty Bird Records back in 2007 and followed it up with bangers like Shy Look, Trick Track, and Dip, and then established her notoriety as a producer with her 2014 debut album, Disbehave. She continues to defy genres and push the boundaries of the traditional house sound with releases on labels like Defected, Exploited, Insomniac, Tool Room, He, She, They, Box of Cats, and Desert Hearts, having played the massive Coachella, Dirty Bird Campout, Burning Man, and Ultra festivals. Ms. Worthy has the insight to play for her audience every time, cultivating intense positive energy and an energetic dance floor camaraderie. In 2020, she came out as transgender, describing her discovery as pieces of a puzzle coming together, and she has invited fans to join her on her journey in finding herself. Feeling a sense of freedom like never before, she has become more expressive in her music and mixing. She invites her audience to embrace their true selves just as she is. And open to sharing and teaching the trans experience, Ms. Worthy is a light for other LGBTQ artists. Ms. Worthy, we have you in the hot seat this week on Femme House Radio. Thank you for joining us.
Hello, hello. Thank you for having me. It's an honor.
It's an honor to have you. You are one of my favorite people on the planet, and I'm so glad that you are able to share your light and love with us this month. So tell me, you have such a amazing just journey that you've been on in the 20 plus years that you've been in this industry. What does it feel like to have gone through so many versions of yourself and to, kind of be in this new era post pandemic?
I mean, it's been quite the journey, and one that I guess in a way I wasn't expecting a long time ago. To figure it out and come out as trans, which is like amazing. But I don't know. I've been a part of the I don't know, electronic music scene since the 90s, which is kind of crazy to say. Late 90s, I'll put. And it's really cool to like just see how it's always been an inclusive place and a place that I always felt, welcome and something that I gravitated towards were the places that weren't like, we're more inclusive and different and expressive, and people could just kind of be themselves and be as crazy as they wanted to be and still be loved for like whoever they were. So I think it just like makes complete sense that I ended up with within the dance music world. And yeah, and just yeah, it's crazy just to see it the way it's grown since then and how big it's gotten and how expansive it is and how many different types of music have come out in this time, since its early days. It's really cool.
And you've had such, like, you can kind of, I feel this way, like listening to your music, you can kind of feel this blossoming effect in your music where it continues over time to get more and more and more open. Um, in the years that I've known you, especially, I've seen you blossom. Um, your journey post pandemic has definitely been an interesting one, trying to reestablish yourself in a world where you're saying, I'm here, I am who I was always meant to be. Um, how has your musical journey evolved since coming out?
Oh gosh, I mean, I would say, especially like DJing has definitely gotten like a lot more experimental in a way, but a lot more just open to different, just really fun tracks that like maybe I was like, afraid to play before, I would say, or didn't let myself really connect to. And now I just love just going all over like the different genres, like a little bit within like the house music world, from like the disco to like the tech house to like some break beats to like some just like crazy like you know bass sounds and not being afraid to like lighten it up and get dark and just like take people to different places. And I definitely think the pandemic kind of just really gave me like this opportunity to experiment with my DJing more when I was doing the like live streams on Twitch during that time. I had to play, for 2 hours and, really wanted to play different music, and it let me really experiment with transitioning to music different music from like different genres that like um I don't know, I never really like experimented with before. And then like to come out of that and start playing in the clubs again, and I really took a lot of that with me back to the dance floor. And and within that time I yeah, just started like making some different music. And I don't know, making music for me has always been like a little bit of like a struggle, like it's like, oh, it's not good enough, it's not good enough, it's not good enough, kind of like feelings. But yeah, I don't know, I've definitely been experimenting a little bit more well within the studio too, and going from different genre to different genre of based on like house music, I would say, just different sounds and stuff.
So it kind of sounds like the pandemic years kind of forced you to not just as you're going through your personal journey, in addition, it caused you to kind of shift your perspective in your musical journey in a way to make you start focusing on what makes you happy in the moment versus what would make a dance floor happy. Like kind of like sacrificing your artistry for the sake of the people that are watching you play.
Yeah, I don't know. Like before, there was this feeling like, oh, I have to play this like certain style because I'm part of this record label and collective that like has a certain sound to it. And maybe I just felt like a little bit boxed in by that, and to like kind of let go of that like stuff over the course of the pandemic. It was a bit, it's freeing, I would say, just like, hey, why am I only playing this like one type of music, and it's like, and I was always struggling. Like, oh, I have to have a record out like this or that. Just to kind of like set some of that free. And I mean, I did do that at certain points, especially with my album, like Disbehave. Like that was definitely like me experimenting more and just making music that I wanted to create. I definitely had those moments. I don't know. Yeah, I think now it's just a little bit more freeing. I mean, it's still tough making music.
Yeah. I don't think that feeling ever goes away of being like, oh my God, like I think my snare sounds like garbage.
Yeah.
Or like, oh my God, am I using the wrong kick drum? Do I have too many synth sounds here? Is the build-up not big enough? I don't think those feelings ever go away. But it definitely, I've seen kind of your music evolve, especially with your new label that you started, where it feels like you're being more authentic and more true to kind of how you're feeling in the moment versus what people expect you to feel. Like you're not like catering to other people's perceptions. You're only catering to your perception of yourself. Um, t- Tell me, what's the you ran Anabetic Records for such a long time. And now you have this new label that you've been starting up that you've been tinkering with. Can you tell us a little bit about your journey there?
Yeah, I mean, Anabatic started, originally just as this place, like I put my own music out and was like super early on with everything. Um, yeah, it's like I kind of realized like, oh, well, like I'm not gonna get all my music out like on Dirty Bird or other record labels, so why not like create a space for myself that I can put some stuff out on, and and then I did that, and then people started sending me some records from like all over the world, and which was kind of unexpected, I guess, a little bit. And then I started putting out other people's music, and it was like a journey, and I ran that for like, I don't know, almost 15 years, I guess. And just kind of like at the end, I was getting really burned out on it, and I don't know, I don't think my heart was in it like the same way that it was like, earlier on, where I was like really excited by it, and just felt this like, and I think, I don't know, I feel like anybody who runs a record label for a long time probably knows the feeling, like, especially if it's just like you doing it and not like turning it into like some big giant like conglomerate. That, it can burn you out. And so it burned me out. And it was this feeling like I'm not really getting this to where I want it to be. And I don't feel like I have the energy to like properly promote like the music the way that I want to properly for people. So that's why I kind of like kind of dissolved it slowly. That was during the pandemic, and I was going through a lot, so it just felt like a kind of natural time to like kind of let that part of me go as well, or that like that history. And then yeah, and then I just started this other thing just to put out like a couple of tracks here and there, and just, I don't know, still have a platform that was something different, something new. I mean, I haven't really put anything else on it in a second, but it's there. And when I want to put something out again, I'll do that.
Yeah. Your record label, it's Love and Give, correct?
Love and forgive.
Love and Forgive. um, I know that it kind of is an extension of a EP that you released on Dirty Bird a few years ago. At least that's like the vibe I get from the title of the record label.
Yeah.
Um, there's been this recurring theme in your music over the last few years of catharsis, of kind of letting go of the past and forging a new path forward. With everything that's going on in the country now in the United States, with kind of how our community is being persecuted, kind of being treated in like a Salem witch hunt kind of way. Um, how would you say you're trying? Let me try and find the right way to put this. Would you say it's more important now than ever to acknowledge the politics of our situation, especially as it pertains to the history of dance music? Or do you feel like we need to focus more on the act of finding joy and kind of escape from the everyday turmoil that we're facing every time we turn on the news? Or do you think that there's like a happy medium between the two?
I mean, I think we kind of maybe have to find a happy medium, because we can't be like consistently, like, I mean, it's hard to like just consistently fight and fight and fight. Like, I guess, I don't know, I'm not as like vocal like on the political side of like things. Obviously, like, it disturbs me, and I don't really like turning on the news as much these days. Although I'm very like up to date on like what's going on, and I try not to let it like bother me too much personally. But yeah, that's like, it gets to me, and yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, definitely like feel like some. There's definitely like a rage underneath me that like it's like this. It's like just so annoying. Like, why does everybody have to be like this? Why can't everybody just like love and stuff? But like I think we also have to just find that like place for ourselves to let loose, and we go to like dance music events to like and it's always been like to escape like all the regular world stuff that's going on, so we can just let loose for a minute and not care and dance and be free and make ourselves smile and be goofy and do whatever we want to do.
Because joy is important, right?
It is, yeah. We have to be super joyful.
Yeah, joy is essential, which kind of brings me to my next thing I want to talk about. It's been a little bit of a sabbatical since the last large Dirty Bird event. We have Dirty Bird Camp out on the horizon in just a short few weeks. It's like 6 weeks out. And then we have Dirty Bird Campin' not long after that. To people who are unfamiliar with the vibe of those events, if somebody was going there for the first time, what would you tell them to expect?
A lot of goofiness, a lot of shenanigans, kind of like pulling back to maybe like being a kid in like grade school at summer camp vibes, and a lot of really good music and lots of like just really fun, awesome people everywhere. Yeah, and this year it's like really cool. Yeah, it has been a minute, and there's been a team up with Northern Nights, which is another, you know, smaller festival here in California. And yeah, it's gonna be a big collaboration with them, and it's just everybody seems to be really excited about it. I heard the tickets are going like really fast and like way better than anybody was expecting. So it's gonna be really awesome this year, and I can't wait to see everybody. And a lot of the OGs are going to be there this year, who haven't played in years, and yeah, it's gonna be great. I don't know what else to say.
Is there anyone on the lineup that you're particularly excited to experience?
Definitely really excited to see Jungle play because I've been a big fan of theirs for a long time, and I was really amazed to see them on the lineup. Who else? I believe Ed Rush and Optical are playing, and they were one of my like earliest influences in dance music. I came from the jungle scene. Like that was like really where like I kind of started. Playing music was jungle, like in drum and bass, and those two guys made like a lot of music that really spoke to me back then. And so yeah, I'm excited to see them play. I've met them one time before, and they were super sweet. And it's been a minute, and I'm a very different person now, so it's gonna be really cool to see them again and just at least do some drum and bass, and yeah, and see all my friends.
It's so, so, so wonderful. And I'm going to have so much FOMO looking at videos of that weekend. But I know it's going to be a crazy time. Um, Dirty Bird Camp Out, for anybody who's unfamiliar, is like you said, it's like, it's like a summer camp, and it's just filled with like goofy vibes and shenanigans, and you never know what's around the next corner. What would you say is the craziest thing that you've experienced at one of these events that you've been part of?
Oh, craziest thing. I don't know. I mean, there was like one time I remember like walking through, and then like Reggie Watts like came through like on a golf cart, just like making like some weird music like on this like golf cart, and people were just like following him around. I was like, "Wow, that's Reggie Watts." He played that year, so it kind of made sense, but it was still pretty cool.
Definitely like a Pied Piper vibe. Like
Yeah, just like
what's
yeah, making his music with this weird like synthesizers and just on the golf cart.
it's giving heffalumps and weasels. We love to hear that. And like I know there was that one year where you and I threw a prom together. That was cute.
But yeah, that was
Um,
really fun.
um, yeah, and I still have one of the tiaras for that. I think I'm gonna have to give that to you one of these times so that you can perform at a, you know, be be princess worthy for a day. So you have prepared what I am assuming is an immaculate mix for this week. Um, for those who are listening to you for the first time, how would you say, um, how would you describe the journey you're about to take them on?
I think it really kind of goes with that new aesthetic of like this of how my music's like been going. I'm just kind of going all over the place. Like there's some like disco-y like stuff. There's some kind of like I don't know sounds of like classic like house music that maybe you'd hear like in the '90s. To some like really bassy like stuff. To some breaks at the end, and it's a really fun mix. I really like the way it came out. Yeah, I always like never know like what's gonna happen with a mix, and I just kind of jumped into this, and I'm pretty happy with the way it turned out. Like, even though it's like 30 minutes and it's pretty quick, I really like the way it like it flows, and I think it's a good mix like that. I'm hopefully people like and enjoy. And,
Well, having seen you perform multiple times and having played with you multiple times, I know that the journey you're about to take people on is joyful, energetic, unexpected, angelic in some ways, satanic in others. And you really do bring the feral girl summer vibe to everything that you do. We love to see it. Before we go, do you have anything to plug, or do you have anything to say to anybody listening right now?
Oh, I just want everybody just keep their head up during these like kind of like difficult couple years we're gonna have here. We're gonna get through it, and we just gotta keep on fighting. Happy Pride to everybody out there, like who's queer or a queer ally. Pride is more important this year than any year that I can remember in a long time. Like, yeah, just but also enjoy yourselves like this Pride season. Just have some fun and let loose and celebrate yourself. Everybody should
We
celebrate
love,
themselves, I think, no matter who you are.
yeah, celebration is important, validation is important, visibility is important, and finding joy with the ones you love is also an important thing. And you are such a real one for making sure that you bring that vibe to everything you do. Christy, Ms. Worthy, the legend you are, thank you so much for being on this episode of Femme House Radio. You are a gem of a human. Um, and to everyone listening, make sure you follow her on all social media, um, because she is a light in the darkness. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Of course.